Hello and welcome back to INSEVIS video tutorials. My name is Andy and today we have a look at the Visustage. The Visustage you can find at INSEVIS.com. Here you navigate to the download section. Under the point software you can just download a zip file. After the download has finished, you simply extract the zip file and install the software. It's a very small program, it doesn't need much space. I have already installed it, so I will just open it. And here we have it. Now we could create a new project, but we are going to use a sample project. These sample projects you can also find on INSEVIS.com download section and just scroll down to visualizations. And here you can pick a device you like or one that matches yours. Okay, this is the Visustage. On top you have a toolbar, like in most other programs. On the left hand side you got a project browser in which you can manage your resources. On the right side we've got an info section, and if I select an object, this will display all the information about this object, and from within here you can change it. Further to the right there is the object catalog from which you can add new objects to your visualization. In the middle is the editor. This is a so-called what you see is what you get editor. So you will be drawing exactly what's later on your panel. Starting with languages, you can use every language that's available on your computer. You see that's quite a lot. The variables are in here. You can add variables by hand. You give it a name, an address, data type and a comment. Or you can import your variables from your TIA and Semantic Manager projects, so you won't have to retype all of them. The texts are in here. Each text resource has a name and an entry in each language. If an entry is not populated, like here, the one in the default program language will be used. So in this example it's German. Images you can also add depending on the language. So for each language you can use different images. This makes especially sense if you got a flag or something. Same rule here, if an image is not available in the active language, the image from the default language will be used. For texts and images, we've got text lists and image lists, with which you can, depending on a variable, replace your resource. Also available are alarms. The CPU type V can have up to 128 alarms. CPU types P and T can use 1024 alarms. Both CPU types can archive up to 500 messages. Each alarm message has a text in each defined language and a group. If you acknowledge one alarm within one group, all the alarms in this group will be acknowledged. You also see here your trigger bit address and your acknowledge bit address. Back here you can add a variable which will be added to the to the end of the alarm text if you want to display a value that has overstepped its boundaries or something. Events are essentially just like alarms with the group 0, so you don't have to acknowledge them, they just appear and go. You also got an extensive user management, which can have up to 9 levels. Each level has a different name and a PIN code, and the PIN code can have up to 8 digits. And here you can also define something like a automatic logout after several minutes, a logout screen, the handling of restricted objects, and so on. Now trends are something that's very nice in here. You can have up to 4 trends, and each trend can have up to 16 channels. You can archive the samples, and for each channel you can archive up to 656,350 samples. The minimum time between samples is 1 second. So if you would sample with the maximum resolution, you can hold over 4 days of data. Also in here you can define how the trend should start. You also got recipes. Now recipes you can add inside the Visustage. You can give them elements with names, view name. This is the name that will be displayed inside the PLC. And this is a text resource. So it's depending on the active language. You can give it a variable in which the element value will be stored. And for this value you can set a minimum, a maximum, and the default value, and also decimal points. The corresponding data sets for these recipes you can create during operation inside the PLC. Moving on to dialogues. Dialogues are something that's very special in here, because each and every dialogue, and that's for digital input, pin input, date input, and so on, each of these dialogues you can customize as you wish. So if you have, for example, a smaller PLC, you can just shrink down the dialog so it won't be too big for your screen. You can change the color of each element in here, so use the background color. I can change the size of the numbers up here. I can customize the buttons as I wish, so you can make each dialog truly your own. Another nice feature are screen templates. Screen templates you can imagine just like in PowerPoint. So you create your master template or your master foil or master screen in this case, and place on here everything you have to use repeatedly on other screens. This may be, for example, your background or this top bar in here or your company logo, maybe the active language or something like that. And if you create a new screen, you can just simply select the template, and then you have a starting point, and every screen will look similar in this way. You can also, after you have created the screen, change the template. So if I don't like it anymore, I can just change it. So if you want to test something while you're making your visualization, you can just simulate it. For this we use the Simustage, which is built in the Visustage. To start it, you just go over here, and now your file will be compiled into a binary and opened by the Simustage. In the Simustage you can use your visualization as if it was on a PLC. So you can use your buttons and your sliders. The downside to this is you don't have a step 7 program underlying which will provide additional functionality, but you can manipulate your variables directly. To do so, you go over here, and then you can just input the values you'd like. So for example, the pressure is stored in here. I change this, and the visualization reacts. If you want to share something that you've done in here with your colleagues, you can always make a simple screenshot and send it to them. Now if you're done with your work, you have made your visualization, you have simulated everything works, you can now load it onto your PLC. To do so, you go over here and hit transfer. Now you could enter the IP address of your device, or you select your network interface, and down here the Visustage will search for compatible devices. If you found yours, just select it and hit OK. Now you can see the download is finished, and you can manipulate your visualization. And as you notice, is very fast and responsive. That's all from me. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed it, give me a like, share this video with your colleagues and subscribe so you won't miss any videos.